I'm Francis Kéré. Welcome to all of you. I will quickly go and show you what I'm doing. So, when we're talking about urban planning, so that's what I've found. This is Ouagadougou 30 years ago. If you look at carefully, you will see there being a structure, existing, organic structure. But, you know, we have been a colony of France, so we wanted to make things like the road in Paris. Here we forgot even public space. Look, this is Ouagadougou today. The city is growing, informal settlements are coming, and what we do, we try to extend it. We keep extending it. That's what I have found. So when we do architecture, so our big, you know, we're looking to the west, here, France. So I don't know which one is the original. I'll let you to choose. Yeah. But there is a reflection and then looking to the west. But this is Burkina Faso. People are very, very creative, you know, and you know, humble in what they do. Here, transportation, goods, and people. So the car owner is also in the car. Can you see him? So here is wonderful. I like this. Look, this gentleman is calling. This is the heavy traffic road. You know, these are my people. This is my place. So we don't complain. We just go through life. And we find ways to really live a decent life. So talking to architecture, I have to say, growing up, we found this is the biggest cathedral in Burkina Faso, so in Ouagadougou. There was a dream it could be a French city with Christianism. And they start to build, and suddenly, I think, in the middle of the way, they realized, oh, it's another country. So, and there was no more money to finish it. And so this is the biggest cathedral we have. As you can understand, that cannot be an example for me. And this is reality in the countryside. People live and build with material, natural material. So if the house collapses, we're gonna gather the material and we make bricks, and we can build again. So I love this image. It's Newton, who said, if I have seen further, it is because of learning from the other. And he called himself, his success is only possible because he was standing on the shoulder of giant. Giant means the culture, the history, learning from past, you know, professional before us. And so this is how I try to do. And in this regard, it is different to Isaac, but this is the way people in Africa came together to build. We do big construction work in a community, the power of community. So we came together and we do. And I wanted to learn from that and to build. And so here, starting with my village, I told you, told Miss Hasegawa, the director of this museum, that I went to Germany as a first from my village, and I had a dream to come back and build a school. And so I started to study. 2 years later, I realized I have accumulated so much knowledge then no one else in my village. So I start to think, oh, you still have 2 years, 3 years to go. If you accumulated more knowledge, if you come back home, no one will recognize you. No one will accept you. So I'd rather stop to study and go, of course, to apply what I have learned. So I stopped to study, and I went back to really do some work with my people. And then, I mean, as a student, you have a big heart for your community, and this is reality, not just a joke. I had no money. That was one thing. I needed to find a way how to really collect the money for the school. But something was clear. I went home to tell to the people, look, I want to build a school for us. I know you are enthusiastic about it, but I want us to use clay, locally available material. And it was a shock. And my people didn't believe me. So why you want to use clay? You studied in Germany. We want to have a building out of concrete and glass. And so you want to use clay. This is not true. You studied in Germany. It's this Western mentality. They don't want Africa to be developed. They want us to stuck in mud. And so you should use clay and glass. But I was resilient, and I spent all of my time to fight and explain, look, we have to use clay. And that's what we did. This is already by the extension building. I have to be honest, it was hard, but that is how I paved my career. I started to convince people, and now that we have to, if you want to succeed, you have to work with people. And that's what I have done. So here, who have been to Africa now, the older you become, you don't need to work. Because you have kids, you have grandkids, why should you work? They will care for you. And if it's a communal work, they will sit and really encourage young people. Nana, tum, tum, tuma. This is what they will do, encouraging you, pushing the young generation. But in my, it felt like it was a miracle. They realized there was something new. And even the older really push forward to show to the youngest, look, this is going to be important for us, without knowing what will come out from this effort. So I was lucky. And then we really work, and this is what I've done. I took the clay, I got the money. That was one sponsor gave me that time 5,000 German mark. I used this money to buy this machine to make bricks. So this is still, the machine is still working. And I started to work, I built it 2000, by the way. And it's still working, and you cannot imagine how many buildings we have done with this machine. Nowadays, it has become something like this, very professional, and then we could just, that is what we created, with clay and rebars. And the rebars are coming from the city, and the clay is from Gando. And this is inside, and today, the buildings still look like the same, really. I have changed the benches only, but everything is still look like the same, 24 years later. And that's what I have done. So how do you explain drawings and engineering to people who are neither able to read nor write? So you make very simple sections, and the section is the building. And so here, how people just come together to create a clay floor, so beating the soil. As I have told you, I would have just dance like the women are doing, but I cannot. I have Priska. I am premium also. I am supposed to be very serious, you know. Okay. So, but believe me, this floor becomes so fine, like a baby bottom, very soft. That is a joke, but it's true. So, again, you have to demonstrate. People cannot read. If you want to explain something, you have to build it, creating evidence. And so this is how we do it. We put load testing, that's what you see. The man with the cap, I have no more hair, but the man in the cap in the center is me. So I have to jump on the top. Look, guys, it is standing, it is true. We didn't hear the story of a grandfather or grandmother about this, but it is standing. So this is the proof, how you convince people. And then, so my people will join, and then, okay, it's approved. It's the construction permit. And you just do it. So here, I study in the country of Goethe. And what is happening? So people start to ask for my project, and I start to do lectures in Europe. I had no more time to care for every single detail. So here I will come back. I realize people put a lot of color, full of fantasy. You know, Africa is rich of fantasy, believe me. So, but I came, I'm looking, so I am a trained architect. The teaching about color from Goethe, it's so great and holy in Germany. I'm a German architect, let's put it this way. I've trained in Germany. Why did I put the color? I want to complain, but people will come one by one. No, you know, Francis, I was the one who fought for this color. Another one came taking my clothes from the back. No, it is me that fought for this green color. And I'm looking and say, wow, Goethe, I should forget you. These people are great, you know. They just played. I created the frame for them to become, you know, masters. And so that is how we work. Things happen, things come together. And so the building is there, shaping. The inside, very clear. And the kids, very happy, really happy. Every time when I go back home, I see these faces. My friend, my European friends or African friend going with me are enthusiastic. I don't even have an eyes for this, but when I'm looking to the pictures later, I say, wow, look what you have created. Not just happiness, but opportunities that you're creating. And then you see kids sitting in every little corner and then working. So, as I said, I want to do things differently. And here we wanted to create a library. And it's not a library like you will have in Japan, in Tokyo, you know. But it's a place to store books. The kids can lend them. But we wanted to do things differently. And we gathered the pots, and we will cut them. I am just putting a little bit of modern ideas, technique, into traditional elements. So we will cut the pot, and we put them together, and we put a roof over, and then we're creating light openings for ventilation and light. So the funny thing is, if I now start to cut something in the village, people will say, he has something new in mind. We have to watch. So I can't do nothing random anymore. No matter what they do, he's inventing something new. Because they watch me working and things are coming. Even the corner for the teachers. So, by the way, this is my younger sister. And then the women of brothers, cousins of me, they're all part of what I'm doing. And at night, they can get classes. You know. So, yeah, that was the story how I started to do architecture. And people start to see my work. In Germany, I have been known as the nice young man from Africa collecting money to build schools. Later, I have been known, it's the architect of Mr. Schlingensief, is an artist that the Goethe Institute put me together with. He dreams to build an opera house. I will not show you this image, but other people start to see in me what I'm doing and say, let's do a project together. Here is an example of that kind of project. I will go very fast. I don't want to waste your time. So this is in Kodougou, the third largest city in Burkina Faso. Someone came, he wanted to have a school on the memory of his brother who passed away by an accident in the US. And he wanted to do something. I don't know why we do this, but myself is the same. We're looking for solutions, and we're trying to give energy to other people when we experience a big loss. And here, the project itself. One day, if you have a project in Africa, in Burkina Faso, you have to make sure, even that told you, this is the plot, go check with the local, because we never know. If there is no boundary, don't think the land belongs to no one. No, land has always an owner in Burkina Faso. So what may happen to you, you finish building, someone will come and say, oh, wonderful, well, great job. So give me the keys. So, but here I have to explain, later explain planes, and here another material, laterite, beautiful material, miracle. It is soft if you extract it. It's getting harder. So, and again, the cutting to make nice bricks. And the cutting has become professional because you're going to see that we're doing a lot of work. Here is a market, is a bazaar. No, it's my construction site. So women, part of the construction, they will gather, a bunch of wood. They will sit and send them and get paid nowadays because we got a job. And then a big community is part of the construction work. And with the leftover that we look for the facade, I have a team that will use them to create benches, sittings, elements. Look, very simple. These kids are getting lunchtime. It's 12:30. It can be 40 degrees in the outside. Okay? In Japan, they will close everything, believe me. But here, they would still need to have classes. Okay, if you finish to eat, fill your bucket with water, put it underneath, and then through evaporation, you have fresh air inside the classroom. They sit, they don't know it, it's just working. This, I want you to see how the project has evolved in time. So there is something I'm doing you cannot see because we don't talk much about it. It's about how do you create shade. How do you protect environment and the building? So look, there's a building. It's still the same. You see the planting. It's landscaping over time. So you cannot take pictures of the building anymore. It's covered, completely covered. More than 60 spaces. It's now a botanical garden for this school, really. So you go, you're going to see they're studying plants. This is what came with my project. I think this teacher is not teaching, she's performing. And the kids, again, in the courtyard, very quick, see the trees. So I plant them. I have no time to do it, but if I do, you don't know how much joy I'm getting in planting. Look, they're growing out. So for the same site, the client was so impressed because the project was successful. He came one afternoon, Francis, I have an idea. So what to do with the kids? They should study further. We want to create a school, MIT. I visited MIT in the US. It is wonderful. Let us create MIT. We name it BIT, Burkina Institute of Technology. I say, okay, wow, great idea. I'm architect, I would love to build. Let's use a very traditional material and create something innovative. Okay, but we start by one classroom. One classroom, a little box in the desert, it's so hot, it's no way, it's not working. And they was disappointed because I didn't like their idea. I said, no, I love your idea, but just one classroom is not working. I'm fighting against it. The effort I will put to keep one classroom cool is a lot. But then at the end of the day, we agree to prepare a framework. Every time when the client has money, my people will put the framework together and pour it. And so to create classrooms. So we stopped to pour COVID years number 1. We reached the maximum level, and this is the project. Again, the trees are growing already high, courtyard, they can stay. So if I'm visiting, I'm just talking to the kids, the classroom, you remember the wood we're being sending, there is a process around you cannot see a lot. And this is what has been created within 8 years. And projects start to come from the US also, like here. So what do? No, I will not change my philosophy. I will look at around, is there an alternative? You know, I don't want to go and compete with an American. So if you ask me, as a young man that I will present you, if you ask me how I will do, I will work with these people. And that's what we do. I found a forest, Montana, and I know they're suffering because of fire. I said, why? And they showed me forests, a lot of forests. And I asked them, what do you do with the wood? No, paper, but not all of them. Oh, wow, this is a paradise. They don't, you know, they have so much wood, they don't use it. Okay, I want to use them. I get the inspiration. I will create a pavilion. This is a Tuguna, as a place of gathering, a traditional place where people will gather together. It's a place of magic because it's very low. There is no conflict. If you go, you will enter this way. You enter underneath. If like this, you cannot fight, except Kung Fu, maybe. But it appears, you know, and what I wanted to do is for these people, like after a long hiking day, to just go and just relax. And so this is a project in Montana, Tipper Rise Art Center. It's a monumental landscape. So fall is coming, winter is approaching deeply, and this is winter time. So what you see is engineered. Winter is gone. The young man running is the son of my friend Ivan Ban, thanks to whom I have the pictures. It's Noah running. This is a friend of Noah getting tired. And that was the intention of the owner. And then, again, summer, concert kind of happening. So using what I found the most available in this region to create the pavilion. So also in Europe, very quick, announced Tashima-san with her office, just did a pavilion there, a beautiful one, very elegant. And of course, my friend Shu Fujimoto did a beautiful one, really like, you know, Japanese elegance. And I had the chance to also work there. And so, okay, I decided to create a big, big tree. Okay, this is normal, to invite the people from London together, but also to collect water. So it's a funnel. Because I said, give an example how a rich nation can go, you know, careful with resources. And so this is wood, giving it a color, but letting the grain appear. And it's engineered at very thin, light material. And this is the pavilion. A beacon of light in Kensington Garden. And yes, normally it's meant to be contemplated, but here you could just sit. And I realized we're creating for people, you know, creating people talk to each other. This is a beautiful project. I work hard here for the little ones. And to get the rules through in London is not easy. At the end, I wanted to create a playground for kids. I struggled so much. And then I decided to give up. Because every plan we submitted, no, kids can hurt themselves. And then suddenly I realized I designed a parliament house for Burkina Faso. I should use this as a model. So I took the model and we made it. I sent the plan, they said, yes, this is very good. This, by the way, is a historic moment because this is the parliament house of Burkina Faso. So I just recycled the project. So you have seen, I started very, like a kid, to create space for other kids, to give them a lot of opportunities, but using the most available material. And what happened is that now I am called to build a parliament house. That is not the model you have seen. This one was in Benin, is in Benin. And again, using ideas from Africa, I tried to create, learn from the tree, the gathering around the tree, and seeing by the project of the Parliament House in Burkina Faso, big project with government can be difficult. So if I'm called, I don't say no. You cannot say no in Africa if you have a certain reputation. They will say the nation is calling his son or daughter who is famous, and he's refusing to come. So this will ruin your reputation. So look what I'm doing. I will go with ideas that I will call primitive. And so they will reject it. Here in Benin, I said, let build l'arbre à palabre. The palaver tree is a cultural element in West Africa where everyone gather under a tree to speak. It is basic democracy. So the so-called modern Africa, they don't want that. It has to be like in Paris. But we often don't have the resources of Paris or London. We don't have. Or even Tokyo. Ooh la la. Impossible. So if you come with an idea, traditional idea, it is primitive. They will send you home. And for me, it's good. I will go, goodbye, I could just work with other people. My people in Gando, for example. But here, I come with that idea, start with stupid sketches, and I draw, and then they had a new president. And just say, oh, l'arbre à palabre, I want to have this. I call my people in Berlin and then Ouagadougou, guys, we have trouble. We have to build a parliament house in Benin, Porto Novo. And that is the project. It's supposed, it is material change, of course, as you're gonna see. I conceive it as the biggest tree in the botanical garden. It's growing. This is a courtyard. So I wanted them, after heavy discussion, that they meet together, you know, you have to find a way to get them talk, however. That was the idea, and then it is going to open, I think, next year. It was a lot of work for the office, but also in Germany. Always the question is, how is he going to approach a job in Europe? It's a lot of fantasy, so fearlessness, just go ahead. But also select. This is what I'm doing. And here is for my university. This couldn't be the versus project at all. I met a sponsor who came and said, Mr. Kéré, I am a supporter of the university. I want you to create a kindergarten for the female part of the, of the team of the university, be it student or teachers, so that I can compete with their male colleague. It's a good idea. And then I've been thinking about, the burden that women has to carry out in Africa. But I realize in the West, most of the time, there is a disadvantage for women also. For career, they do more. And so I was for this project. This is a famous tower of my university in Munich. And this is the plot. Here, the famous tower. So this is the plot. I won't try to be fast because I don't have any feeling of the time. Here is the Mensa of the university. By the way, this is where my own student will go, cross to have lunch. And then I saw the plot and I was shocked. I am sitting in classroom motivating my student to not to respect conventions in terms of copying, architecture needs to bring something fresh. And this is what I'm saying to my student to do. And now I have to come out with a project that should be innovative, refreshing, and all of these things that I've been teaching. And I said, wow, I was not good for the project. But however, this is the roof of the Mensa, and this is the plot. A lot of restriction, you will know why, because it's Munich, in Bavaria. This is it. A lot of functions. This is a gift. But then, when we announce it, then regulations start to work. You need this, you must do this, you have to do this. You have to respect these dimensions. There's the pavilion. It's heritage protection. You cannot do. You just need to do this volume. The volume. But you have to make sure that we access. The track should go through. Everything should pass. And then you start to say, oh my gosh, there's no space. What to do? And so on. Here's a very loud street, noisy. But with fantasy, you could work. Okay, just put the noisy function within. Put the slide. The kids will cry, dance, slide down, boom. And then put slide and see how it gets. But then you have the rooftop that would have a view. It's wonderful, but there is not enough space because you want kids to play with the earth. I'm looking to the roof of the Mensa. So what to do? So here is my job. But can I? Of course, I want to. And then I look at over, said, okay, let's take this. And so this is the idea. Create a playground. Like, it is the playground that we're creating, And it's not complicated enough. It should completely be built by wood, even the core. I've been teaching my students this. So I have to do it complicated, And this is the project. But fantasy is one thing. Regulation, heritage protection, another thing. Very different thing. We keep struggling, no way to move. I can tell you, the head of heritage saw us for the first time. He was the only one who was convinced about the project. The head, the boss was so fresh, so innovative. But he had 1 year to deliver construction permit before he retired. And we worked hard to get it done. 5 days before retirement, we got some little amendment. It will take 6 hours to fix and send. So you know how many papers you have to sign for a construction permit? If you have regulation, I signed for 1 hour. We could submit it. 2 days before, we wait. So nothing is coming. He retired. 2 weeks later, we get the rejection of the permit construction. And then we had to work again. And so, fantasy. Kids need cave to play, to slide, to dance, to do whatever. On the top, they should look at, slide down to the roof and really be free. So I start to do conferences to speak even critically about it. And so people, you will be surprised. And position is shock. Wow. Again. And then, 22, I got the Pritzker. So everyone gets more under pressure. They need the first building of Francis Kéré in Munich. So we got the permit. But I got also this master, Kaufmann, Hermann Kaufmann, is my colleague. He retired. He's a specialist in wood construction, really a best. He was afraid of my design because too much fantasy inside. But he embarked, say, I'm going to help you. And yes, and then we got the permit, and for the announcement, journalists called me. Mr. Kéré, how do you get a construction permit? It is too high. So, and it's completely out of wood. Well, how you get it? We could pass. I said, oh, wait a moment. It's a gift for your university. It's innovative. It's wood I work with. No, how you get the permit? Even them, they're not open. They're not open. You get the permit. You have to celebrate. That was what I was hoping. So, but I managed, and the rate is, never I saw myself this way. But let them do. If they help the project, it is. And we have construction site. Barbara, sitting here, sent me these pictures when I was in Porto last week, getting constructed. So, and I told you, in the West, we get also project. If you ask me what I'm doing, in the past, I was afraid to compete with Western architects. So, and even see myself doing a work with a colleague from Japan, I will say, no, never, I will not do. But I realized I should go with fantasy. So if you call me to do something in Tokyo, don't be surprised. I will bring African fantasy in, believe me. And then I will come with my people. So because these matter a lot for me. This is key for me, really. I started the work. You have seen there was no craftsman that could do the ideas that I wanted because there was big companies. And, you know, it was like a play. And I did research with a lot of people. I'm convinced craftsmanship is what is creating our cities, sometimes our traditions. They are the builder of, they have been the builder of our past, and then our will be the builder of our future. And then here we know that. But here, this is key to me. This is Burkina Faso. Nowadays, even the Burkina government trusts me, like, you know, we have an actual government, and all of these actual government, like the one in Burkina, is fighting to bring peace in the country, but also to elevate the country. And so they called me to build a memorial, and that's what I'm doing. As I said, I have no notion about the time. That is in the center of Ouaga. Imagine, like a huge green lung for Ouagadougou with the mausoleum, and my team are building. I got this, that should be. The president was killed with 12 of his companions, and are being called to design, but also to support the company to build. You know, I had to fight long to be recognized, but that is about resilience. And we're using the same material that I was using in the village, okay, to create. And so among them are a lot of people here in Togo, to create a cultural center. Here they found a wall which is dated 300 years old, or even longer, is a heritage, UNESCO heritage area. We design, and my people are now on the site and trying to build, like the images simulating you is a flow, like a river through history. And then creating a temple for people, a gathering space to celebrate, and then a temple, to celebrate their ancestor, galleries, museums, to display their heritage. There is a big debate on restitution. I don't want to mix. So if I have a chance to create something in Africa, I will do it. Yeah, I'm very happy to have been invited to share what I've been doing with you. Thank you very much.
圧倒的なエネルギーとか喜びということがあったと思います。ケレさんは本当に幼い頃、本当に悪ガキたちと一緒に、近くの本当に木とか、そういうものを持ち出して、自分たちでなんかある意味で、本当に自分たちの砦を作るみたいな、そういう楽しいでその前でダンスをする、そういうところから本当に自分の建築ということの概念を作っていったとさっきおっしゃってました。だからそういうことも含めて、まずは人々が集まる場所を作る。でそれが中心が木であったりとか、いろいろな象徴的広場であったりとか、でもとにかくみんなが集まって共感の場を作る。それは今最も建築に求められている本当にそういう大事な部分なんではないかなと思いました。でもう一つは辛抱強くみんなを巻き込んでいくデリディアンスとおっしゃいましたけど、なんか努力というか辛抱強さ、もうエビデンスを見せる本当にストラクチャルエンジニアの方も入らないところで立って見せてこれ大丈夫だよっていうところから一つ一つやっていく、そういう一つ一つのコミュニケーションがみんながこの人を信じて一緒にやろうという一つの本当に共感の場作りのプロセスかなと思いました。でやっぱり一つ皆さん今日はファンタジーという言葉を非常に使われて、で皆さん今、アフリカである意味でそのアフロフューチャリズムという言葉もありますけれども、実は本当にアフリカがアンシャンと本当にすごい過去の歴史があって、そういう先祖のさまざまな文化というのを大事にしながら一足飛びに未来に向けて最も新しいものを提案する地域であるというアフロフューチャリズムということがSF でも映画でも音楽でも盛んに現れています。でケレさんが、そういう一つのアフリカの一つの本当にファンタジーを自分の一つの哲学美学にされてアフリカ以外の場所に設置される時も出されている、そういう様も非常に私は新鮮に感じました。でぜひ今日お二人の素晴らしい建築家をお迎えしてますので、まず藤本壮介さんの方からお聞きになったコメント、ご自分の何かいろいろ考えるところもご自分の作品に合わせても語っていただけたらと思います。
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much, Francis. Yeah, yeah, it is really like amazing, I think, to see your works have been developing, and especially because your works is based on your home country, local culture, but you are really brave enough to go beyond the boundaries and then coming to Europe or US to extend your like architectural activity, and I was really impressed by that. And yeah, I like to know what is your motivation or what is your passion to go beyond the border, to be more spread more globally. That is because you need a huge braveness to do that, but you are doing, and you are enjoying, and that is really impressive. So I like to know what is that behind it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, how can I say? First of all, the joy to be able to face new challenges and then to succeed. But also, when I'm looking the happiness in the eyes of my people or how they get inspired, then I like to share this inspiration with the world. And of course, I'm looking carefully to with whom to partner, but this makes me so happy. But there is another thing that I have to be honest and share here. If I do a commission outside Burkina Faso, I get paid. And with that money, I go back in Burkina and keep building in Gando. Actually, Gando it's huge. We have a high school. It keeps growing. We have many infrastructure. And then even you have to know that there is an idea with the government of Japan to build a healthcare center in my village. So if I don't have a strong supporter like the Japanese government is planning to do, with the honorarium that I'm getting, but that's much more human, but you are a friend, and then we are a friend here, I can tell you. So I have joy in designing, and I get money. I can use this money to just keep pushing my work in Burkina. I have a workshop with more than 400 people. And then in Gando itself, so people are sending their kids to school there, even outside. And then because of a terror attack that we're facing in Burkina, many kids are coming from somewhere else to stand. So with all of these opportunities that I'm getting, I'm investing to bring the village further. But the joy to design in the world, it's so fantastic. And then now I'm extending my even knowledge, but I'm getting resources back. And then it's not just Gando. Secretly, I'm building a research center. I need resources for. It's never published. It's where really I just have one footprint and I use 10 different materials. I think even now 12. Same building with different, and I will expose them and study them. So yeah, this is the joy of sharing, but I'm getting a lot more back. I'm meeting also great sponsors that are interested in working with me for the future. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's really wonderful. And I hope you have a project in Japan too. Yeah, that must be really exciting to see it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm coming, Japan. I'm coming. He wants me to come.
次はとてもお親しくていらっしゃる瀬島和代さんからコメントとご自分の作品に何か共通点とか。
どうもありがとうございました。こんなにちゃんとずっと時々会ったりしてるけどゆっくりお話を聞けたのは初めてかもしれなくて、本当にとても感銘を受けました。Thank you very much. で、もともと最も私が本当に日本でやってもらいたいと思ってて、最も今日本当に素晴らしいと思ったのは、みんな面白いことあるんだけど、フランシスさんが職人がクラフトマンシップが 歴史を作ってきて、それで未来を作るんだ。で、それをこう示してる。それは本当に素晴らしいと思って、今、日本で私たち建築は日本でうまくできますねなんて言われるんだけど、やっぱりそれができなくなって、みんなやっぱり本当にこう、サイクルが悪い方になっちゃった。やっぱこれをやっぱもう建築を作ってるというよりは、世の中がこういうふうにみんなで作っていかなきゃっていうことをずっとこう示してくれてるっていうのが素晴らしくて、ぜひ日本で私も一緒にこの下手な職人になってですね一緒にみんなで作っていくっていうのをやりたいですよね。で、私は犬島でね、長谷川さんなんかとちょっと学生の人と作ろうとしてもやっぱりプロの人いないとうまくいかないなと思って大工さんなんか入ってもらったりするんだけど、もうちょっと本格的に頑張れるんだなっていうことを思ったし、この建築だけの問題じゃないと思うんですよね。今世の中のこの動き方がやっぱりそういうことなんだろうなっていうのを思いました。ありがとうございます。
もうちょっとお時間が来てしまったので、これで今日の講演とそして質疑応答は終わりにしたいと思います。本当にもう一度ケレさんで、そしてコメンテーターの2人に拍手をお送りくださいませ。